How you doing? I can't believe how cold it still is. I am so ready for summer. It is unbelievable. Um, how is everybody? It's Look at this space. This is lush. It looks really good. So I think I'm a little bit squiffy. It's because I keep leaning on that and I'm moving it. Look, see, I've moved it. It's because my belly keeps moving the mat. I don't know how to do that so that I'm not. We'll just have to sort it out as we go. So we are going to do an easy reversible tote bag. I was talking to Kate. She comes up on here. She'll be here in a bit. She comes in the shop and she was saying she's got a great niece, I think it is, wants to learn to sew. So she's so what could she do? And I said, do an easy reversible tote bag. I said, I'll do one on a 1 o'clock. So it's coming up to Easter holidays starting next week, and you're all going to be looking after grandchildren in some form or other. So I thought I would show you how to do it, so you can do it with your girls and boys and everything. I mean, you can just do a plain and simple one. I mean, I've brought, for measurements to go with, I bought one of ours. Have you seen these? These are so cool. And this is just a single skin, and they've done a French seam, I think. No, they haven't even done that on this. So, easy peasy just to do that. And they'll feel so achieved, and they'll be able to use it for themselves. And we've got some amazing fabric. Have you seen the ones that we've got that cartoony? We've got ones with bright stars on it, and wham, bang, boof, pop, that type of thing. So yeah, some really good ones out in the shop. Right, before I go on and keep chatting, it is exciting, Kate, it's brilliant. So, hi to Carolyn and Marilyn, how you doing? I'm looking forward to Friday. We're doing, Marilyn's doing a fashion show with the WI, and there's a group of us going. So I'm very excited for wine and laughter. So, hi Leslie, long time no speak. We'll sort out that thing for you. And Nikki, haven't seen you in ages. Nikki was on our TEFIC course last week. If we run it again, it's going to be a 2-day course because there was just no way we were ever going to get it all done in one day. That unfortunately. Hiya, Karen. Where are we? Bargello Table Runner. Looks like you have one fairy wing. Sarah, I need another one. I think that's amazing. Look at that. Yeah, I definitely need another one. So, hiya Natalie, how you doing? And there's Kate. I've just been talking about you, Kate. And, oh, where are we? I miss Jane. It is nice and sunny here as well. It's a little bit misty, but we've had a yellow wind warning. So I'm expecting wind later. Hiya Anne and Eileen. Marilyn, I'm sorry, the breaking up is something that I have no control over. So we've got to hope that when it's played back, it doesn't break up quite so much. Hiya, Marilyn. I left you a message on your answer machine. Did you get it? About the fabric, the colours. And Janet Whiteman. Hi. How are you? So, it's an easy project, this one. We are not going complicated. If you have a look at the rest of the week, Sarah did a block of the week yesterday, Janet, and the day before she did one at 7 p.m. So if we do them at 7 p.m, they're longer. And she did a wide mouth bag. So it's all about bags this week. So sorted. Right, okay, perfect, Marilyn. Hiya Janice, how are you? Right, so I've got to remember that the numbers are the other way around. So it was 3, so it would be 2. So this is our tote bag that we are working off, okay? So this is the one that you can buy on the website. I think they're $2.95, and it's just a simple bag, okay, with these. So it's easy to do this with them if you've only got one fabric, but we're going to do it so it's reversible. And I was cutting these for somebody yesterday and thought, ooh, I could use those because they're a rainbow. And so I thought I would use these. Okay, so we're just going to cut off, I've got 1/2 meter, all right, and we only really, which is about 20 inches, and we only really need 13 to 15 inches, okay? Anything bigger than that is going to be miles too big for a child, and you really don't want it to be that big. So we're going to cut off 5 inches, okay? So we got a cutter. So I've got a ruler. I've got a cutter. Now Sarah did say something about she needed a new blade. I don't know if she did it. Right, I'm going to cut off about 5 inches because I've got 20 inches as a thing. Right, so this is going to be my bag. We're probably going to cut some more off because you don't need it to be that big. That's very long, isn't it? So this one, if I actually measure it, is also 15, so it's pretty much a square. Now if you wanted it to be 4 different fabrics because you only have fat quarters or whatever, then you would need to put a seam in, but we're just going to leave it folded. Okay, so somebody at the door, Sarah. So we're going to cut this off at 15 as well. So we're going up here like this. We're going to go like that. Now if I was at home I would stand up and do this. In fact my cutting table is now at stand up. So I've got a nice bit of fabric there. I could do a bit of a purse to go with my tote bag. So that's ready for sewing. I've got the 2 different fabrics, okay? Now, if you're going to make a handle, now the handle actually only needs to be, on the White Gecko tote bag, the handle is 28 finished handle, right? So this you've got 42. So I think that would be enough to just about go over your shoulder. You could make it so that you had 1 in each colour because you've cut off 5 inches on both of them. If I was to make a handle, this is how I would do it, but I'm going to use strapping, okay, webbing. So you would fold it in half and iron your creasing. All right. Then you open it up. You've got your crease down the middle. You're going to take your outer edges in to the middle. Okay, like that. So you would then fold them in, iron them in, iron your creases in. So they're like that. Okay, and then you just fold it in half again. Now we started with 5 inches, so I think we should end up with 1.25 inches. Yeah, 1.25 inches. Look at me doing maths. Right, 1.25 inches. So you then will top stitch down both sides. Okay, it makes it nice and neat. Or you could just use webbing. All right, I thought this one would go all right for me because it's a rainbow. You could also I don't know whether you follow Sasha Sews. She does all the Bosal, and they've got rolls of the Bosal foam that you put that you would fold fabric over and then top stitch it on. She's going to send me some, so I will show you how that works when it comes. I'm very excited about it because I make quite a few bags. So that's how I would do it if I was making straps to go with my bag. Okay, but we're going to use these. So we are going to start with this now, and we're going to turn each of them inside out, right sides together, up like this. Now I'm going to do this as my outside piece. Now you have two ways of leaving them to turn inside out, okay, and you can do it with the top piece because you're going to top stitch at the end, but we're going to do this one that you leave a gap here, okay, which is essentially your lining piece, but we're going to do that. So I am going to pin them so that they are held together while I fiddle around with it. Okay. Now I just cut it. I didn't change anything about it. So before you cut your fabric, I would iron it flat and refold. Okay, I just did it on the fold. Right, I'm going to put those two pins there because I always forget to leave a gap. Probably don't need that big a gap. It's not that much fabric going through it. And this one as well. Okay, so we are just pinning this, and we're just going to go down the two sides like that. Like I say, easy peasy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay, so sorry Jen. So we need to do a, what am I doing? Doing a 4. There we go. So we're going to go over here to this one. Right. So how is everything? Oh, enjoy your lunch, Carol. Stop breaking out. It's you then, Marilyn. It's you. Used to sell the bag strapping. All managed to find the last one. Oh, Ali managed to find the last one. I'm surprised that Ali managed to get one. She has this superpower that she always finds the one that we haven't got. Right, so I'm going to put, I don't want to do that. So I'm going to put in a bit of a lock stitch there, okay. I'm sewing this at 1/4 inch because the 1/4 inch foot is on. It doesn't have to be 1/4 inch. It could be edge of edge of foot if you just have a normal foot, okay. Just sew all your seams exactly the same. So going all the way down here. And I'm going to put a lock stitch in there and cut that off. This is essentially my lining piece, like that. So we're going down here. And this is where we're going to leave our gap. So we're going to skip our gap. I'm going to put another one in. Oh, what was the wrong button, Sarah? Right, going back. I'm going up here. go, and we put the lock stitch at the end. So that's that one. And then we're going over to here. So I've had 5 days with my granddaughters while my daughter and partner jetted off to the Gran Canaria. They've come back looking very red. It was definitely a sun they weren't expecting. So, but they seem to have had a nice time. I have to be honest, it was nice not to be woken at 6 this morning with little chatterings going on, but I do miss their faces. They were very excited that Mummy and Daddy were coming home yesterday. So I think we've bored them enough. Okay. It's Easter next week, so are you all ready for Easter? Have you all been making, what have you made for Easter? Have you made our bows or baskets for Easter egg collecting? I suppose I ought to make new baskets for the girls. The Lydia bag is a lovely make. I don't know whether you've seen it. If you've got mini charms or don't mind cutting 2.5-inch squares, the Lydia bag is a nice one to make for Easter. For them to do their Easter egg collecting. Right, where are we? Let's go back to number 2. So here we have our completed bags. Alright, so if you were doing it so that you were only using one piece of fabric, I would have sewn that seam wrong sides together, and then I would turn it inside out and then do another seam catching this seam in it, so you would redo it like that, okay, so that the seam on the inside is all enclosed, so you get no raw edges that way, which is a French seam, which is a really easy way of doing it. Now we're going to put our straps, we're going to baste them to our outside fabric. Okay, so before I do that, if you wanted to box the corners, we're just doing a really plain, simple reversible, so I'm not even going to box the corners. But if you wanted to box the corners, you would take your folded seam, folded line, or your seam if you've done it with 4 different fabrics, and marry it up with your side seam like that. Measure up and sew across your measured line. So you could have a really wide, so it gives you a wide bottom. I must have had a big crease in mine because I've definitely got a wide bottom. Or you could do 1 inch, which would then give you a short, you know, just a little bottom. Big bottoms or little bottoms. So we are now going to turn this round that way. And we are going to place our straps. With this one, there is a right side and a wrong side. I mean, the wrong side is still as pretty as the right side, but there is a definite wrong side or right side. So you want to make sure that you're not twisting it as you put it down. Can you see how that is twisted? You want to make sure that it's lying flat. And you just decide where you're going to put it. So it's about 5 inches in. So we've got 15, it started off as 15 inches. We've lost ½ inch, so it's 14.5. So if you come in, what have we ended up with? I need a longer ruler. Where's all your long rulers? Gonna have to come in and have a look. So if we put ours at 5 and 5, they're not going to be very far away from each other, are they? So if we put ours at 4, okay, so you're going to put this so that the middle, so for me that's the green line, goes down my 4, like that. And I'm going to pin that in place. Now I've done it so, no, you need to put it right sides together, sir, like that. Put them right sides together, okay, and I'm going to pin, I'm going to clip that in place there, like that. So I've got to make sure that it's all flat, and I'm going to work out 4 inches from that side, and we're going to put it right sides together like that. Now make sure that you're not catching the one underneath. All right, and we're going to turn it over, make sure that this is level, and take your other one and do it so that it marries up. Doesn't matter where you put them, as long as they are exactly the same, but on the other side, like that. I'm going to come along there, and we're going to clip that one in place, like that. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to baste this at about 1/8 of an inch along here, just to keep them in place so I haven't got the clips when I'm doing the next bit. All right, so back over to the machine. How are we doing? Down the right hand side. Oh, look at that! Look at all those rulers. Right, okay. Gonna have to get used to this. Now I'm going to check. I am going to change the foot for this one because I don't want to have to fight with it. So I need to 4. There we go. Hi Jean, how are you? You are a proper gallivanter, Jean. How's your tuffet coming on? Jean travelled all the way down from Scotland to the tuffet course. I was very honoured, I have to tell you, how many people actually travelled. It made me, you know, we had people from Wiltshire and Hampshire, where hurricanes hardly ever happen, and Scotland, Plymouth, Bath. So many people came, and it is humbling that you all want to come and spend the time with us. It's lovely. So, and as we finish the tuffet, we will post pictures of them. Okay, so we're just basting this in here. Okay, and then on the other side. I mean, this would look lovely with straps made out of the fabric, but I didn't have time to prep anything yesterday due to gym and getting the girls home. So I decided that we would do it this way. Okay, and we are going to just baste this one. My tummy is saying it's time for lunch as well. There. So, there we go. And Cheshire. I thought it was Wiltshire. Sorry, Eileen. I thought it was Wiltshire. It's Cheshire. I beg your pardon. Right. So, where am I? What am I doing? I'm over here. Oh, sorry about that. Sarah did say, mind your legs on the doodah. What's it? Right, so I've basted those in place. Okay, now at the moment they're quite a heavy, quite heavy for this one piece of fabric. All right, so make sure that your raw edges and your handles are facing inwards, downwards. okay, because when you've finished and we've top stitched it, they are going to stick up. All right, so we're going to take our paler piece. It's not really a lining piece, is it, because it's going to be reversible, and we're going to leave this the right sides together, so wrong way out, and we are going to put our bag inside the outside bag, inside the inside bag. Okay, now you need to make sure that your straps are inside. You're going to marry up your seams like this. Okay, so that's where I'm going to start my pinning. So I'm going to pin that there, and I'm going to go round, and I'm going to pin up this one as well. So my seams went that way, so if we go that way, I don't know if it's going to make a difference. I mean, if you've got a wider seam, I would probably, you could press it open if you wanted. Okay, so I'm trying to get that to sit along the seam. Nested my seams like that, and I'm going to pin that there, and then I'm going to go round and make sure that everything is flat on my seams. Okay, so I'm going to clip it there, and make sure that that's sitting flat, and I'm going to clip it there. Make sure that that is flat like that, and clip that there. We're going to turn it over. We're going to do the same on the other side. Now, if you didn't want to leave this gap down here and turn it out and then top stitch it or hand stitch it down there, then you could leave a gap up here, which would then disappear when you do your top stitching seam. Where you leave your hole is entirely up to you. Okay, so I've now done that. So I'm going to take it back to the machine, and I'm going to go all the way around the outside. Put that in there. It's all right, my pins are... I always feel wicked putting a pin in the top of Dave's head. Oh, you're going to have to move again, babe. There we go. Right, so back to the machine. I'm going to take the table off, because I can then run it around. It's a lot easier for me to do that. Unless you're leaving the gap, start and finish at one of the seams. I don't know whether that's necessary. I'm going to use edge of foot on here because I want there to be a bit more give in the fabric. I don't want there to be I don't want it to run or anything, so I'm just going to use edge of foot here. Okay, so that's my foot. Okay, what am I doing? I'm doing this. I think I need to thread my needle. Yes, I've lost my needle. It's a good job you can't see my face when I'm threading a needle. Still pull a face even when it's done on the machine. Okay, making sure that everything is flat. Yes, I think it's if you don't want to do any sewing, and for a reversible bag I probably would leave if I was doing it at home, but we're trying to make this an easy sew. So, and a teaching lesson thing. Now, when you get to the handles, another thing that I would do is maybe go over it again. Go back. So you get to the handles, go back over it, following the same line that you've just done. Give it something to hold on to. I tend to remember for about 3 of them and then forget. So along here. Making sure that your edges meet as you're going round. Pulling it out like this. And it's sad about Paulo Grady. I mean, he was such a lovely man. So it's just a bit sad. So along here, nearly finished, nearly there. And meeting up at the other end. There we go. Okay, right, 2, isn't it? So we now have our inside bag. So we're going to turn it around here. Now you can make this this hole bigger if you don't want to have to fight with it. I always make it as small as I can so that I have to do less hand sewing at the end of it. But if you were to leave it at the top, the gap at the top, you wouldn't have to do any hand sewing at all. Okay, so there we have our gap, which is there. There we have our handles. We've got one lot of handles and another lot of handles, and we just push this through. Pull our corners out. I didn't chop the corners. You could by all means chop your corners off to make them more pointy. I didn't. However, I haven't finished doing my hole, so I could, if I wanted to, turn it back out, inside out, and chop them off. So stick that so that it goes down there, and then you're going to roll the top, and then we're going to put a top stitch all the way around. So I'm going along here. Now it's a lot easier to do this before you iron it. However, if you've got the big iron and you can stick it over, you can probably do it all in one go. So we're going along here. So where are we? He was a kind person. I think rescue dogs are going to miss him more than anybody. Yeah, they always say the nice ones go first, but yeah, we're all going to go. Sorry, very morbid. It's a good job you can't see my face. So we are just turning and rolling the seams here. So where are you lot going on holiday this year? I've got to wait until September before I go away, as far as I know. I've got a piece of... oh, there we are. We're all going to Kefalonia, which I'm sure you've heard about, with Sarah and her family, and my little family's going as well, which is going to be lush. I am so excited. I don't think we're going to go away before then. I have some time off over Easter, which I'm hoping to go and see the Mumbles. Go down there. It'd be nice if we could spend a night there, Dave. It'd be like a mini holiday. And then we're going to... I've got a week off in June, which I'll probably... I mean, I'm quite happy to sit at home and read a book in the garden if the weather's nice. I don't have to be on a beach, I suppose. There's plenty of beaches around here I could go and sit on. But I do miss the waiter service on a beach. I do miss that. Right, we're going to go back over to the machine now and top stitch along there. Now, where are we? 4. So we're going along. I don't need it to be edge of foot for this. So I'm going to make sure your straps are up. You don't want to sew them down. Okay, so you want to make sure that your straps are the other side of your needle. Right, so I'm going to use the Perspex bit, the clear bit on my foot, because it doesn't need to be quite edge of foot, and I'm going to up my top stitch to a 3.5. Okay, and I'm going to just go all the way around, so making sure that my straps are that side. And we're going along here. Now, a rainbowed variegated thread would be lovely on this now, just to match in. But I use what Sarah's got in her reels. Here. So hopefully your subscription boxes will be out today. We're just packing them up now. We've printed the pattern, put the fabrics in the boxes, so they should be out today. Well, they'll be out of the shop today. We're still having issues with some of our parcels going out, so we're unfortunately they've shut all the post offices around here. They've shut, apart from the one, so we're still working on. Okay, nearly there. See, nice, simple, easy one. It's all straight stitching, and there are easier ways. You know, you can find easy ways of doing it with the kids, but it's a nice. If you wanted a pattern which is a single skin, not a reversible, Moore's Bags. Have a look at their website, because they do a nice one. They show you how to do the French seam and how to finish it off. So that's a nice pattern to use. So let's go back over to here. Right, there we go. So we have our finished bag. Okay, so this now, once I've sewn the hole up, got bits, hang on, will now be reversible. Ta-da! I have a rainbow bag. Look at that. So you would just push it through, and once that's sewn up, there we go. How's that? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I'm going to do that and hide the hole. You can leave the hole. You can hide your money on the inside, inside your fabrics, which is good. So I want to see you all at Malvern. I think that's our next one. All at Malvern, carrying your own tote bags. Ta-da! I'm just gonna move that again, I think. Let's have a look. So yeah, so I hope to see you all doing the doing your easy tote bags, and we will be back again next week with some more projects. Don't know what I'm going to do next week. Maybe the subscription box. I'll do the pattern from the subscription box, talk people through it. So maybe we'll do that because it was my pattern. So we will, yeah, it's a good idea. I don't have to think now. We'll see you next week. All right. Bye.